Frigidaire. We introduced the first home freezer, the first pulsator agitator washer, and now we introduce the Frigidaire Orbit Clean dishwasher, designed with a unique wash arm that gives you 4 times more water coverage for a consistently better clean. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
Hi, I'm John Malos. Welcome to this live edition of Connect with me on the showroom floor at Ventura TV on this Monday. We got a couple of guests on hand, actually more than one. We've got 3. We're going to cut this show in half. We're live until 11 o'clock. The first half hour, arts and culture, and then on the air, off the presses. We're back in a moment.
Tonight I want to discuss the importance of the television medium to the American people.
And we're back here on the showroom floor on a Monday morning. Today it is arts and culture in the second half of the show. It will be on the air, off the presses, and you're watching us live on Comcast Channel 187, 43.6, of course, and now you're watching us live on 13.1. That's also Me TV, in case you didn't know. And the replay takes place twice today, 1 o'clock in the afternoon on YouTube 13.6 and at 8 p.m. on Biz TV 13.5. First of all, before I get into the monologue today, a couple of things. I want to, reach out to those that have just come back from the Bay Area, and our hearts, thoughts, and prayers to those that were involved in that earthquake in Napa, San Francisco Bay Area over the weekend. A lot of damage. Some people were hurt. But the damage, of course, is into the billions. Governor Jerry Brown has declared a state of emergency over there. So thoughts and prayers out to those in the Bay Area. Also, I just want to talk about the second half of the show. George Hostetter of the Fresno Bee is going to be here right around 10:30, 10:40 to talk about that article in the Fresno Bee that he wrote on Saturday. Talked about Chris Cummings, the owner of the Fresno Grizzlies, possibly selling the team in its entirety. Will the team stay here if that happens? George will be along to answer a few questions for you. Also on Friday, we kind of touched on art. We had a florist in the house here on Friday morning talking about how he displayed many of the paintings and photos on the walls in his business, in his floral shop. Today, kind of the same theme a little bit, the art house. What is the art house, you ask? Let's roll the videotape, my friends, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Here it is, located in downtown Fresno, the art house. Now, in case you're wondering, this place is actually an old abandoned warehouse that's actually been turned into an art gallery and a studio space for 4 young men: Adam Mena, Chris Geigel, Creighton Geigel, and Eric Beltran. They wanted the gallery to feature art, music, culture, and they did. That's the old saying, Rome wasn't built in a day. Well, the art house wasn't built in a day either, my friends. They started slow. They started building the walls. They started building the stage. There was a bar included with thoughts of having art and music shows, community events, and also private parties. Now they have 5, count them, 5 unique studios, of which they subleased a local artist who come in. They display art on the wall, just like you see here. Very impressive art, I might add. They have their own shows. They have their own galleries. During Art Op, they attract well over 1,000 people, plenty of food and entertainment. The hope is to attract and bring attention to and to highlight local artists and entertainment. They're open every first Thursday of the month from 5 to 9 and every second Saturday from noon until 4. It looks like great artwork indeed displayed up on the walls at the art house. Live in our studio right now is Adam Mena, Chris Geigel. They are 2 of the 4 here in the studio today. They're going to take your phone calls at 436 MeTV option 11. What is the art house and how does it relate to what's going on in culture, arts and culture here in the city of Fresno? You're welcome to call in, ask your questions. Back in just a moment.
When you're looking for KitchenAid innovation and quality, Who has the answers, the selection, the price? Ventura TV Appliance. With billions in nationwide appliance buying power, more than Home Depot and Best Buy combined, we'll help you save. Our low prices on Energy Star qualified KitchenAid appliances save you energy and money and pay no interest on select models when paid in full within 12 months. Ventura TV Appliance, serving you since 1951.
Back here on the show this morning. Remember, you're watching us live on Comcast 43.6 and Comcast 187 and 43.6. Got that a little confused there. And also now live on 13.1. That's also MeTV. You can call in today at 436 MeTV option 11. The replay takes place at 1 on YouTube and on Biz TV at 8 o'clock. Adam Mena, Chris Geigel is here. They're both here. Talk about the Art House. So guys, what is the Art House? I know that you have artists come in, they display their art. What goes on there? As we roll a piece of videotape, I want to show the Art House again because I like some of the work I saw on the walls there. So Chris, I don't know if you want to pick it up, or you, Adam, either one.
You want to start off?
We're live, so you got to go.
Okay, so what the Art House is, it's founded by 4 artists. We started off at Broadway Studios. We had this crazy idea of putting our money together, getting an abandoned warehouse.
What's that right there behind you?
So right now you're looking at me, looking at our new studio that we just made, kind of scaling where I'm going to hang the next piece. That's part of the process of hanging art, is measuring it out, trying to figure out the height, the certain height that you need to
right
do.
There looks like it's painted on the wall.
Oh, those are actually done by Creighton Geigel.
Yeah, that's my brother. He repurposed a bunch of old metal and wood, and he made deer sculptures out of it.
Is that right? We got a phone call coming in right off the bat. Good morning. You're on Connect with Me. Caller, go ahead.
Morning.
Hey
guys, I'd like to come down. I guess you're open during the Art Hop. Is that Thursday nights? Is that correct?
Yeah, the first Thursday of the month.
Yeah.
And that's coming up here in about a week.
That's on September 4th.
And you guys are open other days or not?
So what we're doing is we're open on the first Thursdays, and we just had a meeting at M Street with a lot of other gallery owners, and we're all going to be starting to open our doors at noon to 4 on the second Saturday. So we're trying to do another day besides Art Hop where all the galleries in downtown Fresno are going to be open to the public. It's just kind of bringing awareness to the arts in the cultural art district, as well as just basically having all the galleries opened throughout the day or throughout the second.
At the same time.
Yeah, so basically all the galleries would be open from noon to 5. So if you missed Art Hop on Thursday, you can still come on that second Saturday and see the shows. So.
But Thursday is the only day currently you guys are open?
Yeah.
At all?
Yeah, first Thursday of the month. So this next show is September 4th from 5 to 9 p.m.
Well, expect to see me, but honestly, wouldn't you like to have some other way, or is there another way that people can try to purchase the art?
Yeah, we'll have private events frequently where we have music shows and things like that. The art is usually still hanging, so people can actually view the art that way.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, but basically for the public, it's only one day a month, or possibly now coming up on 2 days a month.
Yes, 2 days a month. It's just hard because, like I said, Chris and I, we do have other jobs other than Art House, and it's our schedules. That's right now. That's what it is. We're trying to get some internships to come and gallery sit every weekend, so that we can have more opportunities for the public to come check out the art and possibly purchase.
I do appreciate you guys and what you're doing downtown. I want to be there. I want to be able to get there. But it seems like it is kind of limited as far as hours.
Well, I mean, they can't exactly have Art Hop every week. It's just the first Thursday of every month. And it's pretty much citywide, right?
Yeah, it's citywide.
It's citywide, and so explain what Art Hop is. I mean, I know what it is, but obviously there are some callers out there or viewers that may or may not know.
So Art Hop started a few years ago, and what it did was started originally from 3 galleries, Chris Sorensen being one of them. Throughout the years, the awareness of the arts have been developing, and more galleries have been opening up to the public. So basically,
It gets the
And you can go to
community
any
going.
gallery that you want to in the city of
Yeah.
Fresno during Art Hop. That's
They,
what Art
they
Hop
call
is
it
all
Art
about.
Hop because you can hop around to different galleries
Right.
and basically walk within walking distance from other galleries because there's
Where,
so
what
many.
part of the
them.
city did Art Hop start? Was it
uh,
downtown? or-
Downtown, like
Yeah.
I think it's south of Ventura at Chris
Yeah.
Sorensen's, right with the old "Welcome to Fresno" sign.
Yeah,
So-
I know that area well.
And now it's expanding upward to the north side of downtown, by Van Ness, by Arte Americas, the old Metropolitan Museum,
Yeah.
in that area. And then there's the new M Street Gallery that just opened up.
Okay.
So a lot of galleries are popping up, and we're just all trying to do something for the community.
So let me ask you something. My daughter painted this beautiful painting. I mean, it's just gorgeous. In fact, I bought a beautiful, nice frame for it. It's hanging in my living room. If I wanted to bring it to Art Hop, I could bring it to your gallery. I can hang it up.
Yeah.
Totally.
Really?
Totally.
Somebody could buy it. Somebody could make an
Totally.
offer.
That's,
Oh, yeah.
That's
Really?
what makes us different at Art House. What we do, we open our doors to all artists from beginning to intermediate and to advanced. The ones, just everyone's allowed to show at our gallery.
Interesting. Okay. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead.
I was about to ask the cross streets of the gallery.
Oh,
It's
okay.
H Street and Calaveras.
H and Calaveras.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
That's the Art House, H in Calaveras,
Right.
downtown Fresno. Okay, let's roll another piece of videotape, my friends. And you were starting to say that oh, look at this artwork here. Okay, describe that.
This is Johnny Lopez. He just started showing at the Art House. It's all acrylic, and it's very beautiful work. It's gorgeous. He's actually going to be showing this month for our Star Wars theme show.
A lot of these pieces, they don't even need a frame. I mean, you
Right.
just hang them on the wall, right?
Yeah, a lot of them are on like wood panels,
Canvas
or
and-
stretch canvas on wood panel. So they're ready to go in your living room.
Yeah, beautiful. And so what does something like this go for, generally speaking? I know it varies on the size
varies
and
on
the
the
painter,
size.
but are you talking about, I mean, somebody at home might be looking at this and I think, I think I might go, but what, generally speaking, do these run? $400, $500? Are they,
Yeah,
are
I'd
they,
say
are-
close to that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Can you
and-
get anything cheaper? Can you get
You
anything
could- you
for
can-
under 100?
You could negotiate prices all the time. It just depends on the artist. There's no set value of art, It's just based on the value of the artists themselves.
Can you find a piece for under $100? That's
Yeah,
what I want to know.
you can.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
can.
Or
Yeah.
you can also buy prints. Prints are another way to support your local artists. A lot of them make prints for $10 to $20. They're not the originals, but they're duplicates and copies of the original where you can frame it and have it in your room. And
Okay.
basically support that.
Time to take a break here on Connect with Me. Adam Mena of the Art House is here, along with his buddy Chris Geigel. Those two are partners, 2 of 4 in the Art House. 436-ME-TV, option 11. Do call in. Do turn down the sound. Back in a moment.
Considering solar? Whether you're ready to buy now or just exploring your options, the consultants at Solar Negotiators are here to help you. A call to Solar Negotiators is like calling 5 solar companies at once. You see, when local established solar contractors have gaps in their schedule, they call Solar Negotiators to fill them. Right now, get 5 years of panel cleaning and maintenance or $1,000 off your new solar panels. So stop wasting your time searching and call Solar Negotiators, because when contractors compete for your business, you win.
We're back here on a show, Connect with Me, with two good guys here, Adam Mena and Chris Geigel. So this dream that you had here, you took this building, and which was what? It was obviously not an art
Yeah,
gallery.
it was an abandoned warehouse.
Just empty,
was
nothing to it really.
Pile of dirt everywhere. Walls were.
Yeah.
It was
a
just. It
mess.
was a mess. Took a
So,
lot of
so
time.
where'd you get this grand idea to do this and take this building and kind of transform it into an art gallery? And
Well, we were just doing what artists do, is sitting around, collaborating together, talking it over, and
Right.
we decided to just find our own place and create a gallery.
okay,
Yeah,
And
it was a lot of. We were at Broadway Studios before, and at Broadway there's restrictions on if you can use aerosol spray inside the studios and things like that. And we were working very large, and for our spaces, they're kind of small, so we were thinking, let's put our money together and get a warehouse so we can work as large as we want and create large, pieces of art. And then once we were in our warehouse, we started putting up walls to display our work to the public. And a lot of other artists started seeing the space, and they, loved it, fell in love with it.
Do you charge other artists to display their work on your walls?
Yeah, the entry fee is generally $30 for an unthemed show, and we have different themes. So, like this month's our Star Wars theme, and so it's $35 for that.
Okay, so if I want to bring my daughter's painting down, what would you charge me to put it on the wall there?
So it'd be $30.
Yeah.
$30?
Yeah. And some shows we do like per piece, so it's $10 a piece if you want to submit for a certain theme. But other than that, we usually do $30 for a 4x8 section, a wall section.
Take us through the process and how long it took to transform this into a gallery.
Okay.
I mean, apparently this place was abandoned.
We're
You're still doing it.
Yeah,
It's a work in progress.
Yeah, it's a work in progress.
Okay.
But it's taken us 2 years so far just to be where we're at right now.
Yeah.
And it's not done yet.
No.
So
Not
you
done yet,
want a
no.
total of 5 studios, right?
The 5 are done, but we want to
We'll
add
probably-
a bathroom in the
yeah.
back, and then possibly another studio, and then just basically tidy it up.
More walls to hang on,
Yeah, and then also track lighting in the back,
track lighting.
because we have track lighting in the front of the half where the public gallery is, and then the back studios we're still working on getting track lighting for the
Hey,
back.
that's one question I wanted to ask you. Let's roll another piece of videotape here. How important, when you walk into a gallery like this, I mean, this might be a dumb question, but how important is lighting?
Oh,
Very
it's key.
important.
Critical?
Yeah. And some artists like low lighting, some artists like real bright lighting. And then there's
depends,
flat
huh?
lighting. There's different kinds.
So how much money are you spending on lighting?
We find it all on Craigslist and stuff like that.
So do you spend a lot of time and focus on lighting? That's
Yeah.
really a critical
Yeah,
key
yeah.
component?
When we first moved in there, it was
We have
really-
commercial track lighting from the Cadillac dealership. It's the old Cadillac.
really?
Yeah, so we found industrial, commercial style lighting. It's very professional. So
And also, I mean, when we first moved in there, it was super dark in there,
Yeah.
right? We
It
didn't
was-
have, there
yeah.
was hardly any
This-
lights. So we started off with clamp lights that we had from our old studios. And then we slowly upgraded to track lighting.
yeah, this track lighting's worth thousands of dollars.
And we
And
found
we
it on
got it on
Craigslist.
Craigslist.
For how much?
For I think it was 300
Couple
or
hundred.
Yeah.
300. Hey, that's pretty good.
I mean,
we just had to replace a few components, but
So tell us the kind of art that's displayed in the art house.
What we have is more contemporary, more urban. We see stuff in the art house more like not graffiti art, street art, just various. We have
All kinds,
photographers,
sculptures.
sculpture.
So you have photographs,
mixed
too.
media.
Photographs,
Yeah,
yeah.
totally. We have some amazing photographers coming in from the valley, and basically it's just we open
it's
it
a
up
full
for
range,
everyone.
yeah.
Totally.
Mainly contemporary.
Yeah. Let me ask you another question about the lighting, just really quick, and then we'll go on to something else. If the lighting isn't just right, and someone walks in and they look at that painting for the first time, and then they come a week later and they see it in a different light, how does that change the perception of that piece of art?
Certain lighting actually brings out certain colors and makes you actually, psychologically think about something differently. So there's brighter colors, brighter tones, shadows.
So you don't have just
different things.
bright white lights, you have different colored lights?
Well, we have for our stage, we have like a blue and a red.
Yeah,
it
there's
kind of
more
sets a tone
Okay.
blue
for
hazes, and then there's like more of like a yellow, more natural style
Right.
lighting.
Yeah, but around our stage, we kind of like to dim it down for the musicians, and
Because that can cast a perception one way or the other, depending on if the lighting is light,
Right.
dark,
And if it's
medium.
in the wrong position, it'll cast like a reflection. If it's a glass piece,
and,
Right.
and
It'll
even the paint on the
reflect
walls.
back.
Like when we roll out our walls for the next show,
Mm-hmm.
we try not to use a high gloss paint, because when you shoot a light on a high gloss paint, it has a lot of reflections, and
yeah. So you want
so
a
we've been using like a
semi-gloss.
semi-gloss a matte or
a flat,
eggshell.
Flat eggshell.
You don't get a lot of reflection.
What about the colors of the wall? Should they be off-white or?
They should be white.
Yeah, we occasionally make a different color wall for accent walls or title wall. But majority of them in our gallery are white.
In fact, the florist we had in here on Friday, his walls were like lime green almost. And he hung all sorts of paintings and photos on the wall.
It could get distracting if you put too much color on the walls with the art. It can clash.
Okay, Adam Mena and Chris Geigel are here from the Art House in downtown Fresno. 436-ME-TV, option 11. Back in a moment.
When you like Ventura TV Appliance on Facebook, it's nice. But when you love the Samsung big screen we deliver, it's even better. Our website is cool, and it's a good place to start. But you really should touch the merchandise before you buy. Time for that upgrade to an HD 3D web-enabled Samsung TV. Get the best selection, price, and service in town without waiting. Come in to Ventura TV Appliance and touch the merchandise today.
Hey, back here on the program, we're talking about the Art House in downtown Fresno. Adam Mena is here, so is Chris Geigel, 436-ME-TV, option 11. If you want to call in and ask any kind of question that you want to on the broadcast. Saw this piece in the Fresno Bee over the weekend, and Valerie Green, do you know her? Brush and Easel. She was a guest here not too long ago.
Brush and Easel.
You know Brush and Easel? Beautiful gallery. A different type of gallery than you have, obviously, in your place. So, yeah, well, she's, looks like she comes from a different generation than you. Does that make a difference in the type of art that you have in your art house? Let's roll another piece of videotape and talk about that. Okay. So you guys, you're like 27.
27.
You're going to be 26 here in a couple days. Happy birthday. So what kind of art do you got? What are we looking at here, by the way?
So right now we have a variety of pieces. In the background, there's a mural of a deer.
Is that like an art show or something?
Yeah, that's during Art Hop.
Okay.
So every first Thursday of the month, we open up.
Yeah.
And as you can see, people are, checking out the art on the walls. We have vendors that come in selling, unique goods to the public. We have food trucks such as Weenies on Wheels coming out. Bands. This last month we had the Creeping Green and Amatella. She's a solo songwriter from Fresno.
Yeah.
So it's just, we kind of make it a good, fun event for the public to come out and check out the local art scene. And it's just, we try to put out energy by having local musicians come and perform throughout the night. And it just makes a really fun thing for the community, because a lot of people, they say there's nothing to do in Fresno, but in reality, there is. There's a lot of things.
There is?
You just have to look for it.
You just have to look hard for it.
There is?
Yes.
All right, so you being 26, you being 27, 27, 26, whatever the case may be, does that kind of dictate what kind of art you're going to have in your gallery? Your age, your generation, your thought process?
Art is personal in your own sense. You kind of make whatever
but it's
you
a
feel
generational thing too, isn't it?
That would probably have a big effect. A couple hundred years ago, they were doing a completely different style as far as today. Today is more contemporary, more urbanized, and
but there's still influences from the past. I mean,
we're always influenced by what our life experiences are and what we go through. So different times and generations are going to affect us.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. All right. Another piece of videotape here before we kind of run out of time. But so your show is when? September the 4th, huh? That's the next Art Hop?
Star Wars.
All right. Another look at something or some pieces that are on the wall there at Art House, and they look absolutely gorgeous. I mean, I wish I had the talent to do some of that work there. And so when you have your house, your living room, your den, whatever you want to call it, your playroom, all fixed up with all the artwork that you want, you're all filled up, you have no room for anything else, what do you do at Art Hop? You just look, huh? Take photos with your iPhone?
You just have to buy another house, really.
You have to buy another house and store the art.
Definitely.
So this is a pretty lofty project for you guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's continuing. We're trying to
The question is why then? Why? You have other things going on. This is not a full-time thing
no,
for
it's not a full-time thing, but we want to provide something for our community. Like, I lived in San Diego for a couple years, and I moved back in it's true, the whole boomerang effect where you move away, you get some things that you learn, and then you come back and do something for your community. I think that's the best thing. That's why we're here.
Yeah, we're not artists because we choose to be artists. We're artists because we're supposed to be artists.
And we want to help other artists get to that next level in their work.
We're just supposed to.
Because when we first started, we didn't have a gallery like Art House to showcase our work. And we try to showcase people from up and down the Central Valley, whether it's Fresno, Dinuba, Orosi, etc. So if you're out there, we want you.
Okay. Well, we got a call coming in. Good morning. You're on Connect with Me. Your question, please. Caller.
Yeah, good morning, gentlemen. This is more planting a seed than anything else. Is that, that I love the art hop and what you guys are doing. It's like I totally honor you. But, there are digital artists in the world today, like myself. And to be able to promote them at your place, there's got to be some mechanism that you could create. And I've just planted a seed about, digital art is a big thing, and how it transfers itself around the world. So, Bob, gentlemen, you guys have a great day, and I'm just planting a seed.
Okay, thank you. Does every piece of art have a message?
Oh, yeah. I think
every piece has a message.
Piece.
Yeah,
you're kidding.
You wouldn't create it if you didn't.
The emotions you're feeling when you're making the art has a message, So if you're angry, you'll make something that looks kind of crazy, but it brings out that emotion from when you're painting.
Meaning, or
if you're sad,
if
or
you have a
you're
message
happy,
to speak to someone.
So I'm gonna have to ask my daughter what the message is with that painting she painted. I wonder if she'll be able to tell me, because it's it's quite beautiful. It's great. Yeah. Interesting. So,
and if they don't know, just ask them, what were you feeling?
What were you feeling when you created it?
This,
That's the big question. What are you feeling? What were you thinking about when you were making your art?
Like they're going to remember. How are you going to remember that? Especially if you painted the thing like 6 months ago.
You'll remember. It's part of your process. You created it, so you're going to remember it. It's like kind of like reading a book. You're involved in the whatever you're reading. So when you're painting, you're kind of involved. You remember what you're feeling and what you're doing.
Are you a painter?
Yes.
You are.
Yes.
And you are too, Adam?
I do mixed media sculpture work too.
Yeah, and so is your work is on display there at the Art House?
Yeah, I did.
Some of it?
There's one piece in there. It's a furniture piece. It was a chair. When I was in San Diego, at San Diego State, I was studying furniture and woodwork design. And I created a chair that in my eyes would be kind of cool to have in my house.
Does everybody have kind of a hidden talent when it comes to art, do you think? Everybody? Even if they're not an artist?
I think they all have creativity. It's just artists use their creativity more than others.
Caller, go ahead. You're on the air.
Yes, I was wondering, what are their definitions of what is art and what isn't? I'd like to understand where they're coming from. Thank you.
Did you understand that?
What is and what isn't their definition of art?
What is and is not your definition of art?
Oh, man.
Why don't you just start with what is the definition of art?
I don't know.
What's
art
your definition?
Is a creative process that comes from your heart, your soul, your passion for it. I don't think there is such thing as not having art. I mean, even good business is art.
Yeah.
You have certain skills and you use it in your own personal way, and that's art in itself. So
and art's everywhere. If you look around you, if you look on billboards, if you look on packaging of cereal boxes, it's everywhere. You're getting so used to it.
All right, let me ask you a question. Our next guest here on Connect with Me is going to be George Hostetter of the Fresno Bee. I think he's one of the most terrific writers I've seen anywhere. Would you say he's an artist because he's a
creative writer?
Yeah.
There it is.
He wakes up every day and he thinks, I'm going to write something. He's thinking about writing all the time.
And he's writing to everyone.
Yes,
and more that's what he does.
People are interpreting what he's writing.
He does it quite well.
Yeah.
Hey, can we show that Matt Alvarado video one more time before we leave, because we never really talked about him. Who is he? What does he do? He's up there on the screen. He's going to be looking and talking about his video. Is this the Matt Alvarado video?
So Matt Alvarado is a local artist. He's he's from Dinuba. We actually, which is cool because we're getting a lot of artists outside of Fresno coming in and showing our stuff.
Is that him?
Yes, he's actually explaining his work. His stuff is more abstract, and I think like what Chris said earlier, it's about emotion and feelings. When he was painting, it says alive on a lot of his paintings. Like, I mean, I think he's just expressing himself.
Yeah, he uses real bright colors, so that kind of shows that he's alive, he's vibrant, he's, you know,
he's emotional.
He feels,
you say he's emotional.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
use bright colors. Does that mean emotion?
Yeah,
Yeah,
colors represent different emotions.
Yeah,
you know,
he's
you have
feeling-
your warm colors that get you really excited, and then your cooler colors make you feel a little bit more mellow and, you know, relaxed. So
Yeah, and this is a good way of getting out a lot of frustration. It's good therapy.
Oh,
yeah, oh yeah,
absolutely.
It's good therapy.
Yeah.
Isn't that right?
definitely.
People use art as therapy oftentimes.
Yeah, you feel better when you've completed artwork or something. You've finished something. You feel accomplished. You feel better. It's not just sitting there, you know, doing nothing. You're actually accomplishing something. You're creating, and you're doing it personal, your own thing. So it feels good.
Well, you guys are young. You're creative. You have a long career ahead of you, and I commend you for what you're doing. That's a lofty goal to try to turn this whole thing, this old warehouse, an abandoned warehouse, that into an art gallery. I appreciate your time coming in.
Thank you.
Adam, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
You guys are talented guys. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
All right, Adam Mena, Chris Geigel of the Art House. Go check it out in downtown Fresno. And the address again is
1612 8th Street.
And our website's www.fresnoarthouse.com.
And we have a Facebook page, Fresno Art House. Like us.
Okay.
Tell your friends to like us.
You could call us from our website too, and there's a map you could use your smartphone to find.
We have
us.
Amazing apparel too.
Yeah.
Right, the Art House
Check
hat
it
and
out.
the Art House T-shirt. All right, we'll have to get you a Connect with Me T-shirt, guys, and wear that over at the Art Gallery. Hey, our next guest is coming up. He's a writer for the Fresno Bee, talking about the Fresno Grizzlies. Are they for sale? Hey, do you have the money to buy them? Are they going to stay in town? I have no idea. I have no answers to any of these questions. That's why our guest is coming in. You can call in at 436-MeTV option 11. We're back in just a few minutes.
Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're the save energy, save time, save money place. The Energy Star qualified, ready, steam equipped, high efficiency Frigidaire affinity place. You heard right. Right now, save big on select Frigidaire laundry pairs and pay no interest when paid in full within 6 months. At the hometown low price, think outside the big box place. Since 1951, Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're working hard to be your place.
Don't you ever hit me again!
Chief, I think we got a hit on our hands.
MeTV Fresno, now on Comcast Channel 187.
When you like Ventura TV Appliance on Facebook, it's nice. But when you love the KitchenAid appliances we deliver, it's even better. Our website is cool, and it's a good place to start. But you really should touch the merchandise before you buy.
Save big with KitchenAid. Right now, get up to a $1,000 prepaid MasterCard when you purchase select KitchenAid appliances.
Get the best selection, price, and service in town without waiting.
Come in to Ventura TV Appliance and touch the merchandise today.
Back here with our second half of our program. Of course, we're up until 11 o'clock on the air. And let me see, get the channels right here. Comcast Channel 187, 43.6. And now you're watching us live on additional stations as well. 13.1, that's MeTV as well. And then the replay today at 1 o'clock, 13.6, that's YouTube. And Biz TV at 8 o'clock tonight, 13.5. So a lot of channels that Connect with Me is on right now, and a wide-ranging audience here and growing by the minute. And once again, I want to mention, we did at the top of the show, hearts and prayers go out to those in the San Francisco Bay Area with that earthquake that took place in Napa over the weekend. Looks like $1 billion in damage from what I heard. Jerry Brown, the governor, declaring a state of emergency up there. And even the Oakland A's and the San Francisco Giants, their hearts reached out to some of the victims. In fact, Eric Sogard of the Oakland A's woke up in the middle of the earthquake with him and his wife. They were both, well, according to Sogard, and you look on the A's website, he was a little concerned. He got a little worried and didn't know what was going on. He had never been in an earthquake, and the Giants playing back in Washington, D.C. were concerned about it. And we're going to continue along that theme of baseball because over the weekend you may have seen an article in the Fresno Bee on Saturday. I want to roll the videotape of Chancey Park. I still call it Grizzly Stadium. There it is from high above the skies of Fresno right there, taken by our own Marcus Borelli. A great shot. But George Hostetter, our friend over at the Fresno Bee, just wrote a terrific article on Saturday talking to Chris Cummings and the possibility of him selling the team. Now, you might recall Chris was a guest here just a couple of weeks back. We talked about all sorts of things, and he talked about the team being a strain on him financially. The entire organization, obviously, it goes without saying, they're losing money hand over fist every year. Most of the time when you go to a Grizzly game, the crowd is sparse, to say the least, 3,000 to 4,000 a game. I know they have the occasional 11,000 to 12,000, but that's few and far between. So financial troubles. Is the team going to stay here or not? I don't know. Is the team going to be sold? Do you have the money to buy them? Live in our studio right now to talk about this is one of our regulars here on Connect With Me is George Hostetter of the Fresno Bee. No one knows City Hall like he does. And he is going to answer any questions that you have. 436-MeTV, option 11. It's on the air, off the presses, with George Hostetter, the Bee, talking about the Fresno Grizzlies and their future here in the city of Fresno. We're back with the continuation of our show in just a moment.
I love a joke.
Say, Lucy.
Yeah, Ricky?
A tramp came up to me in the street and he said he hadn't had a bite in weeks.
What'd you do, bite him?
Opening butler joke, buddy. Come on.
The master says to the butler, Jeeves, did you put fresh water in the goldfish bowl? And the butler says, why? They didn't drink up what I gave them last night.
You know that ancient joke about the guy who saves his regiment, shoots the cook?
No. How does it go?
We're back here on Connect With Me with George Hostetter. George, good to see you.
Hi, John. Good to see you. I'm A-OK, and you?
I'm great.
Good.
Now
good.
that you're here.
Okay, well, I don't know about that.
So this article in the Fresno Bee, obviously you wrote, you got kind of an inside track here, and so the Grizzlies losing so much money every year, and they're having to scratch and scrape, and you know, Chris Cummings was here just a couple of weeks back. I guess the first question is he going to sell the team? Is he going to find a buyer?
Well,
do we know? Are there any serious contenders out there? That's the question.
Yeah, that's a fair question. And, you know, it's interesting. After I wrote the article, I got a text message from a Fresno County supervisor. I won't say who, but this individual was meeting the next day with a potential buyer. Well, if you've got a soup meeting with a potential buyer, that tells me there's a lot of action out there, and that yes, I'm guessing the team will be sold and will be sold soon. Now, whether it's sold to an outsider or if they bring in 3 or 4 new investors so that Fresno Baseball Club still owns it, but it has a different makeup inside, I don't know. But yes, I think change is coming real fast.
You think sooner rather than later then?
Mm-hmm. I think, yeah. And I think City Hall wants to see it sooner rather than later. You know, in essence, Fresno Baseball Club and City Hall are partners. When they did that revision of the lease in late '09 and early '10, they became joined at the hip, and I think City Hall wants to see some new blood there, and probably Chris wants to move on to his next endeavor.
Yeah. So when they renegotiated the contract back in 2009-10, that's when it became the Fresno Baseball Club, right?
Well, no, the Fresno Baseball Club bought it. Was it in 06 or 07 when Fresno?
07. But then they renegotiated the deal, right?
Renegotiated the deal, and part of it had to do with if the Grizzlies ever make a profit, City Hall gets some of it. So they're definitely joined at the hip.
Yeah. No question. So you got that, you know, I find that amusing to say the least, that you got a text message from a supervisor when this is really a city issue. Now, not to say the supervisor shouldn't be involved, but this concerns the city of Fresno, the council, not really a supervisor's issue.
Right. And, but I guess my point is, it's a dynamic situation, to put it nicely. So there may be bartenders out there right now talking to potential buyers. There may be 64-year-old journalists out there talking to potential buyers. I think that's how unsettled the situation is, where everybody's who has a desire is getting a hand in the game.
See, I'm trying to think who's 64 right now and who's a journalist.
Okay.
I can't think.
Okay.
I can't think.
Right.
Anyway, so how will this impact the city if the team is sold? Can we say at this juncture, or is it a little premature?
Well, there are several ways, and I think we can speculate at how it impacts the city. One is, I'm not worried about somebody being at Chuck Chansey Park for the next 15 or 20 years. Whether it's the affiliation with somebody, a team on the East Coast or the San Francisco Giants, I think that's, I don't know, and I think that's immaterial to the way minor league baseball sells its product. I know some people worry, oh my gosh, the player development contract disappears with the Giants and no one cares, but I think the way the product is sold at the minor league level, it makes little difference who the player development contract is with. But the key is, okay, Chris and his partners sell, and that means somebody else comes in, and what lease do they get? Now, if you remember back in 2000, 2001, Fresno Diamond Group, the lease was $1.5 million a year. Well, that's of rent. That's steadily shrunk.
That's been cut in half, right?
Essentially cut in half.
Yeah.
And so the question is, and that's still too much. Okay. So if the next buyer comes in and says, I'll come in and I'll do, let's say I'll fix up the stadium a little bit more, and I want rent of $20,000 a month, $240,000. Well, there's a $510,000 difference between what that new buyer might pay and what Chris Cummings is paying. Well, who picks up that $510,000 because there are bonds on the stadium that have to be paid? Well, that's Mr. and Mrs. Taxpayer will pick it up.
So that's going to be you and me picking up that extra $500,000 that needs to be paid?
Hypothetical $500,000.
No, but that's a hypothetical.
Yes, that's the key, is that if they got to have a new buyer, and the new buyer says, well, I don't have to go to Fresno, but if I do, I want a new lease and I want to pay substantially less, and there's still a big bill on the bonds, which is about $3.4 million to $3.5 million. Well, then, bottom line, John, is more than likely the general fund would pick up that difference to make sure that the bonds are paid, and that's the big question, and who knows where that'll go. Now, there are lots of nuances we could talk about in the next 5 hours on that, but we won't go there. But that's the key question.
Boy, that's an interesting scenario that I hadn't thought about. Yeah, somebody's got to pay the tax, because those bonds aren't going away.
No.
Got to be paid.
You default on those, and that'd be a mess. And of course, $500,000 a year, I'm just, again, hypothetical. If it is that, big mess.
Yeah, a bond is it's like having a mortgage. You got to pay the mortgage, or you're going to lose your house.
Got to pay it.
All right, we're back here with George Hostetter here from the Fresno Bee on Connect with Me, and you're watching us, of course, on Comcast and some other stations here. We're going to be back. You can call in, ask George any question about what you want to, about the Fresno Grizzlies, hey, about the stadium, whether or not this is a good deal. Has it been from the beginning? We'll be back with our program in just a moment.
Solar, whether you're ready to buy now or just exploring your options, the consultants at Solar Negotiators are here to help you. A call to Solar Negotiators is like calling 5 solar companies at once. You see, when local established solar contractors have gaps in their schedule, they call Solar Negotiators to fill them. Right now, get 5 years of panel cleaning and maintenance or $1,000 off your new solar panels. So stop wasting your time searching and call Solar Negotiators, because when contractors compete for your business, you win.
Back here talking about the future of the Fresno Grizzlies. Chris Cummings, the owner, was here just not long ago, and he was, complaining that, this thing is a financial strain on him. See, he's losing more than $1 million a year, at least the Grizzlies are. And, the lease is about, $750,000 a year now. It's something like that he owes to the city. And then, on top of that, you got Chansey Park, which they have the naming rights. They chipped in last year, wasn't it $1 million?
$1 million a year for 15 years, and I'm guessing 6 or 7 of those years have gone. So that naming rights deal is getting close to being, if not at, halfway over. Another factor in when they try to sell, because the new buyer, if there is one out there, and goes, well, it's not a 15-year, $15 million naming rights deal. It might be a 7-year, $7 million naming rights deal.
Wow. Good morning. You're on Connect with Me, caller. What's your question? Caller? Hello? Hello, caller? You there? Apparently lost him. So, this begs the other question, George, that I had is, back in 2000, 2001, whenever the stadium was built, you think back on it, and I know I'm always a Monday morning quarterback. Even when when my team loses, what'd you take that pitcher out for? But so this is the ultimate in Monday morning quarterbacking, and since today is Monday, I thought I'd ask the question: bad deal for the city of Fresno?
Yes,
from the get-go.
Well,
I think the city's in a bind now.
Yes, and I think most people think it's overbuilt. That was the issue.
Oh, okay. You're talking about the stadium.
The stadium, right?
Yeah.
And so the stadium all ties into this. Remember, in was it October of 2000 when they council on a 5-2 vote first approved taking out the bonds, and then they begin their construction in 01. But they have essentially a nearly $50 million stadium with a what is the capacity of 14,000?
Yeah.
And it's just overbuilt. So then, when you overbuilt it, you had a complex funding mechanism, a formula that has just gone haywire, and everybody acknowledges that.
Yeah. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Good morning. So the team is looking to be sold. I'd like to make a suggestion. What about the tribes? Tribes seem to have endless amounts of money. They've already got their name on the stadium. Why not just say, hey, why don't you take it over? They can make something out of it. Or, okay, here's a better idea. What about the Assimi family, the Granville organization? They've bought up every other landmark downtown that's for sale. Why not pitch them, take over the team? They, too, seem to have bottomless pockets. What is your guest's opinion of that?
Well, I would, too. There are 2 points there. One, the tribe, of course, they're in a civil war, and, the Indian gaming industry isn't a bottomless pit of money. There are market stresses big time. So I can't imagine, we'll see. I'm not the tribe, but I can't imagine the tribe, excuse the pun, rolling the dice on taking over the team. Then on the Assemi family, again, if I just speculate on, again, this is nothing, I haven't talked to Darius, but they've been very successful by being very prudent, which then just obviously, I don't know if prudence is the essence of taking over a minor league baseball team in Fresno with having an annual rent payment of $750,000.
Yeah, I think, you look at Darius Assemi, and you're right. He's successful because he's been prudent, and I can't see him entering into a bad deal that's going to put him behind the 8 ball. I just can't see that.
No.
A guy that's successful. But I want to roll some more videotape of the Grizzlies here and talk about them as a team, and because you touched on this earlier, and I want to kind of dive into this a little more. Everybody has made a huge deal about their affiliation to the Giants, and we all know the players that have come out of Fresno. Buster Posey and Lincecum and Kane and all those guys. But so you don't think affiliation matters, even when it's the Giants and they've won 2 World Series and all this?
I don't think it matters a bit. And I just think the minor league experience at a ballpark is all about the drama of the entertainment. And if it's John Doe out there from the Brewers organization, or Sam Smith, from the Yankees organization, it just doesn't make any difference. They come and go. The whole point of a minor league team is to nurture players moving up, and that whole kind of complex player development deal. So no, it makes no difference. And Major League Baseball is everybody plays about the same. So if you like to see real good baseball players, does it matter again if the affiliate is the Red Sox, or the Astros? They got real good ball players. You're going to see a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. You're going to see a 220-pound first baseman hit one over the right field fence. It doesn't matter the affiliation.
Yeah, it doesn't. All right, we're talking with George Hostetter of the Fresno Bee. He wrote this great article. You might want to check it out online now. That's where I saw mine right here. It talks about the Fresno Grizzlies potentially being sold sooner rather than later. Chris Cummings, the owner now, looking for a buyer. Hey, we're looking for a few good phone calls here. 436-ME-TV, option 11. We're back with our program in a moment.
When you're looking for Whirlpool innovation and quality, who has the answers, the selection, the price? Ventura TV Appliance. With billions in nationwide appliance buying power, more than Home Depot and Best Buy combined, we'll help you save. Our low prices on Energy Star qualified Whirlpool appliances save you energy and money and pay no interest on select models when paid in full within 12 months. Ventura TV Appliance, serving you since 1951.
Back here on the program talking about the Fresno Grizzlies. Are they going to be sold sooner rather than later? We don't know. And if they are sold, this might relieve some of the pressure off the owners, the Fresno Baseball Club, but will that put more financial pressure on the city? And will you and I see a higher bill in terms of taxes around the city? That's the big question. And so I hadn't even thought of that when I read your article, George. But when Chris Cummings was here, he was talking about the financial strain. So this article here should not come as a surprise to anybody. And he was saying that originally back in 2000, 2001, when the Grizzlies moved into that state, and the reason they built it to such a high capacity is so they could attract other events. But then he talked about the high cost of bringing in a concert. People, depending on who you get, if you brought in a stage, cost $250,000. Boom. Mm-hmm. So the competition between them and the Save Mart Center and Selland, it's like a losing proposition now.
Yes, and
it's incredible to think what's happened the last 12 years.
That concert angle too is just one that people might chuckle, but they're chuckling through their tears on that. That it just was never going to be a long-term concert venue. But if you recall back in 00 and 01 and 02, part of the financial deal is that this whole notion of a stage. Well, they spent 6 figures for this portable stage. I remember John Carbray bringing out all the reporters, and they actually brought out this portable stage that was just immense out to show us that it could actually work. And this was where the Rolling Stones, and I'm showing my age, and the Eagles would play from or whatever.
Right.
But you can go by on a walk on Inyo, and it just sits there.
Yeah.
And so again, another example of how that original formula, that original model of how this was going to work was pie in the sky. And the reason it was pie in the sky, as you recall, John, and as it's not Chris Cummings or John Carbray or council members of 00 or 2014 or the mayor at that to be in the spotlight. It's the public. There was just this huge cry for a baseball stadium, and it's a democracy, and so the various powers that be, whether they be businessmen and women, or they be elected officials, or they be the bureaucrats who do the bidding of the elected officials, they were responding to what the public wanted. And the public in 00 thought, yeah, we want a $50 million stadium. There were a few skeptics. Jim Patterson was a skeptic. Chris Matisse was a skeptic. Ken Stites was a skeptic. But there weren't many. And they were on the losing side. And so now we have this. And we just look in the mirror and blame the person who looks back at us for what happened.
And I remember Sal Quintero, I believe he was the swing vote. And the day he cast his vote, you remember that? And he was actually in tears. He was crying over his vote to go ahead and build the stadium. But you know, everybody wanted a larger venue. And you go out there, and the Grizzlies will tell you openly, you know, their marketing department, their PR department, they're going to pump up the stadium. They got one of the best stadiums, minor league stadiums in the whole country. Yeah, it may be, but it's a financial drain. You know, it might have been better to build something around 6, 7, 8,000.
Exactly. And I was talking to Council Member Lee Brand on the story, and because he takes immense interest in this. But he raised the issue that now the stadium opened on May 1st of 2002. So it has been 12 years and 4 months. And yes, there is ongoing maintenance done both by Fresno Baseball Club, mainly by Fresno Baseball Club. But Councilmember Brand said, you know, there's wear and tear on there. So if there is a new buyer and there's a new lease and that kind of wear and tear, there's another negotiating dilemma, another policy dilemma, another financial dilemma as they go forward into what might need to be fixed or updated or refurbished at Chukchansi Park.
Yeah, because it is 12 years old now, and it's, you know, time marches on. But I'll never forget the story that Chris told. He said this one artist came in, and he demanded to have a stage brought in from Oregon. It cost $250,000 to transport it with 19 U-Haul trucks, big long freighters, to bring it in, to roll it in. They can't afford that. You know, so that's why they did it once and that was it. But 250 grand for a stage. Anyway, caller, you're on the air. What's your question? I think we got about 2 or 3 minutes left. Go ahead.
Yeah, just real briefly. You know, I remember the first 3, 4 years maybe, they were drawing real well. And I remember they used to have all these promotions with all the surrounding communities where they'd get the mayors there, they'd sell tickets in the community. What happened to all that? That's all. That's my question.
You
Well,
mean
guess
all
my
the
memory,
excitement, all the pomp and circumstance.
right? And I think the excitement started to fade rather quickly. But Chris Cummings and Fresno Baseball Club and City Hall, which has access to the stadium when the Grizzlies aren't there, they're not sitting on their hands. You know, there are soccer events there now. It's just simply not a wise venue for sustainable entertainment of the music variety. And on top of that, if you do get something there, you're not getting something over at the convention center, which then, you know, there's always risk is always reallocated, and so then if you get it at Chukchansi, then you're not getting it at Soroyan or Selland, and then there are financial problems there. So I would disagree with the notion that whoever's sitting in the management chair for Chukchansi Park, whether it's 02 or 14, that they are indifferent to trying to find something to keep that stadium occupied on non-Grizzly days.
Yeah, that's the key, and that's the most difficult part. Non-Grizzly days, what do you do with that place? It just sits there. You know, what kind of events could you have? I mean, I don't know. I'm not an event guy, but...
Well, that's... It's been 12 years of I don't know, John. Exactly. I don't know.
I don't know. Like, but don't we have experts over there that can figure this out? I
well,
mean,
maybe rationalism has its limits.
So if you were the city right now, and I know you can't comment too much about this, but if you were the city, would you be going out there and you know, offering up, hey, we've got a deal for you, you know, we'll cut the rent maybe in half if we can get a buyer in here. I mean, maybe suck it up a little bit. Now, the city's in financial shape, a better shape now than they were a year ago.
Yes, they are. And I've been around City Hall enough to know that there's always money sloshing around somewhere over there, you know. So I have no doubt that if they come in, there's a new buyer, and instead of paying essentially $750, they pay $375. The other $375 will be found, and life will move on.
Right. George Hostetter, as usual, great article in the Bee Saturday. Check it out online or go to the Bee and buy it. And thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Great. Good to see you, George. Have a good weekend. Or a good week, I should say. I'm sorry. That's going to do it for us. We're going to see you back here tomorrow for another edition of Connect with Me. Glad you could join us. Have a great day.